Hello, Ravens fans, and welcome to another season preview. I'm Aaron Schneider, the Sports Information Director at Anderson University, and joining us for our football season preview is Head Coach Steve Rock. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Aaron. Thank you.
Okay, first let's dive into sort of the questions that we normally go through each year. First, let's talk about what your goals / expectations are for this season.
Yeah, our goals and expectations really are pretty consistent. We're trying to build the best football team we can with the best people we can and help these young men grow to be great fathers and husbands and those types of things and be productive citizens in society. And then, obviously along with that, trying to help them become the best football players they can be to win some good ball games.
Okay, let's talk about what the resurgence means in terms of if we look at where the football program was before you got here, and what is your vision of the resurgence, and what does that mean in terms of this program?
Sure. Well, that concept originally came from the idea when I was doing my research when I was asked if I would be interested in this position. Started looking back over the history of Anderson University football and realized that there was a time when this program was on fire and doing a great job. And so the concept of the resurgence is to take something back to where it was and beyond. So I thought in my mind, the program's been down. How do we come up with a concept that would pay tribute to the older gentlemen who did a phenomenal job here and had a great successful program, but something our young guys and our new guys could kind of latch onto and say, hey, we're going to be part of something special, and so we're going to resurge the program, to where it was before and hopefully beyond. That's our goal.
All right, now what would you say your team's the strengths of the program for this year?
I would say right now, having been through our camp season, our defense right now, believe it or not, is really doing a great job. And so they've got some veteran players there that are really stepping up and have done a phenomenal job in the off season, preparing their bodies for this upcoming season and doing what they need to do, being great leaders and that kind of thing. But our defensive side is something we're really excited about with so many returners and that type of thing. And then offensively, we lost some key players, but the young guys that are coming in or that have come in are doing a great job and picking things up, and so we're real optimistic on that side of the ball as well.
Okay, yeah, there's definitely a number of high caliber defensive players returning, and I'll get into that. First, let's talk about going through each of the position groups, and the backfield is going to look very new this year. Who would you say is going to go in and make some impact? Kind of fill in some of the holes for this year.
Yeah, well, one of the guys I think that's really going to have a standout year from a running back standpoint is Gabe Lawler. Gabe's a returning guy who actually played on our defensive line last year and wanted to make the transition over to running back, did a lot of things to change his body to prepare him for that, and he's been a real pleasant surprise here during camp. We anticipated him to be a bruiser type back and a guy that was just going to be tough, hardcore guy, but he actually has some agility and some ability to make people miss, and so he's going to be a good combination from a running back standpoint. And so that's exciting. We got some younger guys behind him that are coming in. They're finding their way and doing a great job, and so we're excited about that whole group. So real talented group there.
Okay, so now we get into the offensive line where we had a couple of key seniors graduate last year, but we've got a couple of senior starters with quite a bit of experience, and then you'll have some new people starting in for the first time. Tell us a little bit about the offensive line for this year.
Yeah, we lost some good ones, but we're really excited about the guys that are returning, and the new incoming guys have really been a great surprise, being real young guys to the program. They come in and pick things up and done a great job. But one of our leaders on the O line that does a great job is Dane Crenshaw. And again, he's another guy that had a great offseason. And then he's really wrapped his arms around a lot of these young guys and helped them get up to speed real quickly. Another young man that played quite a bit for us was Drew DeBoer. Has done a really nice job this camp, and we're excited about him and helping bring those young guys along. I do want to mention one of the young guys that's just really kind of stood really above the rest, and that's Jackson Elder. He's done a great job, and he'll have a long starting career here at AU, I believe.
All right, and then now we go on to the defensive side of things. Going first, looking at our defensive line, you've got a couple of fixtures, a couple people who've been fixtures for a couple years. Tristan Chambers, Jawan Coney, some key players there. What is the defensive line going to look like?
Connor Huffman, Sam Viola, those kind of guys are we have to mention them. They're doing a great job, and we're going to lean heavily on them. And you know, Sam's a guy that can play D-line, can play outside linebacker. He's a very versatile player, and means a lot to our program. So great leader. So yeah, that's a phenomenal group. Christian Chambers is a captain for us, and Tristan is always one of those guys that he's going to lead by example. He's not going to say a whole lot, but when he does speak, it carries a lot of weight. So we're thankful for that.
Okay, I did want to mention Sam Viola, who's our returning second team all conference player. Like you mentioned, he plays a little bit of D line, plays in the linebacker, plays in the secondary. How do you what value does that bring to have that almost Swiss Army knife kind of player?
Yeah, that's a great analogy. He can play at all three levels, just physically who he is and his mentality and his understanding of the game, so that gives us lots of flexibility. So just when you think you may be short on depth in one area, you think, okay, we have the Swiss Army knife, we can throw Sam in there. So that's kind of great, and so for sure he like I said, just a huge asset to the program.
Okay, now we go into our linebacking core. We had Colin McCaffrey, who was all conference last year. Caden McCain, also all conference, a great freshman campaign last year.
Right.
What is your linebacking core going to look like for this year?
Those two guys are carrying the load here during camp, and then we've got a bunch of young guys behind them that are doing a great job. And again, those are two guys that are true leaders, and so that makes it nice when you have a bunch of young guys behind them, so that now they have an example of what it's like to be what an all-conference quality player looks like in practice, and obviously in game situations. They're going to find out here soon. So those two are great. We're looking to find a starter for our Sam linebacker position, which is one of the more difficult positions to play on the field, because you play down in the box on the run all the time, but you also have to be able to play in pass coverage in a big way, and so world moves real fast out there. So, but we're going to have a young guy there, and the young guys are doing a great job, and so we're still sorting out who that's going to be, but it's going to be a good guy for sure.
Okay, and then for our secondary, we had quite a bit of freshmen make an impact on the secondary last year. What would you say that's going to look like for this year?
So you got to be referencing Caden Sotelo, who came in, did a phenomenal job, and another guy that just has an amazing off season. Bringing that into camp this year has been great. A lot faster, a lot stronger, a lot more savvy about the game. Aiden Roach is another one who played a ton last year and will take care of one of our other safety positions and do a great job out there. And so we're real excited about those two guys. And then there's a great group of young guys behind them. And then I also, would like to mention Demarion Walker. He's a returner who did a great job last year, and just works his tail off all the time, trying to get better, and he's doing a phenomenal job. So a bunch of young guys behind that. We've got a transfer in that we're really excited about by the name of Dejan Hare, and he's done a great job, and he's got an extra year He's played for a year, and now he's transferred in, so he's kind of a veteran player, and he's had that kind of role during camp to help mentor the young guys. And even though they're all competing for the same job, he's done a phenomenal job of mentoring people on the team.
All right, and then finally we get into our special teams game. We were fortunate enough in the kicking game to have a men's soccer player come in last year as a senior and do a really good job. So someone will have to fill his shoes. But I also want to give you the opportunity to address where this last year I thought we did a pretty good job on the field goal block, and we were able to step in and block quite a few PATs. Tell us a little bit about some of the special teams players you see to have an impact this year.
Yeah, a lot of those guys will return and do a great job. Sam Viola is another one we mentioned before. I think he had 6 blocks himself last year, and so that's pretty phenomenal, and it'd be great to not give up so many touchdowns, but if we could get the same amount of blocks, that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a young guy that's come in, Mateo Jesh, and he's basically going to take over the kicking duties and do a great job with that, and he's had a phenomenal camp so far. He fits in great with the team. He's not just a kicker. Sometimes the kicker is the how do I say it, kind of the guy on the outside looking into the football team,
Mm-hmm.
but not the case with Mateo. He's a phenomenal young man, strong, CrossFit guy. The guys respect him for more than just what he does on special team stuff. So.
Okay, and then so we open up the season with a road game against Trine. It's a Thursday night game. Actually, it'll be Thursday, September 1st. It'll be at Trine. Tell us a little about what you expect out of the Trine game.
Trine's a phenomenal team. They've done a great job over the past several years. Playoff level quality team, always in the top couple in their conference, and in a really good football conference. So we've got our hands full with a young team, even though we've got some veterans now. They're going to be a really good veteran program themselves. They're coming off a 6-4 season last year, a little bit down for them. But again, they were doing that with a bunch of young guys, so they're all a year older now, and lots of returners there. So it's going to be a tough matchup, but I think it's a great opportunity for our guys to go in, give their best effort, and continue to grow our program. We want to play really good competition and test ourselves. We kind of have that mindset right now that, hey, maybe we've come up short in the past, but we're going to continue to challenge ourselves so we can continue to get better.
Okay, and I did want to give you an opportunity to discuss maybe some of the games that you're looking forward to this year. I mean, they're all important, obviously, but of course we have the bronze ball game with Manchester at the end of the year. Is there any dates on the calendar that specifically stick out for you?
Just really this first one is big because, again, getting back out on the field and having a true camp season without so many concerns regarding COVID protocols and those kind of things. We've done some things to make sure that people stay safe that way. It's not been kind of forefront of our mind. We've been able to focus really on our team and our football program, and so that's exciting. Week 2 is exciting as well. We play a team that just come off a playoff run in DePaul University, so they're going to come to AU here, and we're excited about that matchup with a great team. We've got one of their players from last season's playoff team is now part of our coaching staff.
All right.
So we're excited to have him and give him a chance to square off against his old squad. So that'll be fun. Obviously, going up against Franklin is always a special time for me, having been there for so many years and had a great run there and love that place. But one day of the year I got to try my best to beat them.
Yep.
So, but they're a really good squad coming back, and so we're excited to square off with them. And then of course the Manchester game. Nobody needs anything extra to get cranked up for that one. So that'll be fun, but. We got to take them one at a time, So we're laser focused on trying right now.
All right, and then finally, what does your team need to do this year to be successful?
continue to do what they've done during camp, come in and follow the leadership of the older guys. That's something I haven't necessarily been able to say in the past, not taking anything away from our older guys that have been through the program now. But there's a huge core of them now that it's not just 2 or 3 guys here that, hey, you got to follow and follow their lead. Now we've got a group of 20, 25 guys that have been through the early days of our program, fought through it, and made lots of progress. So now the young guys coming in, laser focus on this group of guys, follow their lead, and then we're going to have a great opportunity going forward.
All right, well, I think I've covered the questions I wanted to. Ravens fans, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow along with any more season previews, any more content we may put out on YouTube. Coach Rock, thank you for joining us, and good luck this year. Good luck in your opener against Trine.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Appreciate it.